But the way that I look at it is he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud of what our boy Tom Aspinall has become, okay? We are weeks away from Bully Aspinall being a reality in the UFC, with this guy walking around the UFC PI like Homelander, with everyone on the roster on edge at all times, okay? He's truly blossoming into someone I'm proud of, okay? We're finally getting what we want out of Tom Aspinall, and I'm going to go through that in today's video. He said some things in his interview with Piers Morgan that I want to go through. I also want to go through, this is Shannon Sharp, so not Dana White, but Dana White was on the show, but Shannon Sharp was asking Dana White some questions about Jon Jones, and I think that Jon Jones, or Dana White, sorry, is promoting this fight so badly. He's on a huge show, massive show, huge audience. This is going to get a ton of views. It's his big chance to try and promote Jones versus Aspinall, which allegedly is going to be happening, by the way. Also huge news. But I think Dana White's going the wrong way about promoting it. He is focusing more on defending Jon Jones's image and honor rather than actually promoting a fight that people are going to be interested by. And it's pathetic. So I'm going to go through some of that in today's video. Some of the stuff that he said was correct. And he also kind of referenced me in this as well that I'm going to go through. We're going to start with Tom Aspinall's Piers Morgan interview. Or maybe we should end with it. Maybe I should end with it. I'm going to start with Dana White talking about this fight, and I'm going to go to Tom Aspinall's side of trying to promote things because he does talk about Jon Jones. We'll start with Tom Aspinall, or we'll start with Dana White's interview on ESPN with Shannon Sharp.
You know everybody wants the Aspinall fight.
Yep.
Everybody wants the Aspinall fight. Now's your chance. That's a layup from Shannon Sharp, where he's going to be able to, give Dana White a layup to promote the hell out of Jones versus Aspinall. Let's have a little listen.
Yep. You're preaching to the preacher on this one. Listen, Jon Jones and I do not have the greatest relationship in the world, and we haven't for years.
They're sleeping on opposite sides. They're turning over in bed. You know what I mean? They're not facing each other anymore. You know what I'm saying, guys? They're sleeping in opposite rooms these days. Their relationship has truly deteriorated. You guys. Sometimes Dana White has to take the couch, okay? Their relationship is truly on thin ice. All right, guys? Either way.
And everybody thinks that I'm, it's just a fact. It is what it is. If you know anything about fighting, not only is Jon Jones the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, Jon Jones would have run through everybody who's ever fought in any combat sport.
He asked you about the Aspinall fight, by the way. He's like, Dana, we had enough about Jon Jones. We've heard you say this over and over again for the past year. Talk about this Aspinall fight that's going to go down. Okay? And he just starts going off again about Jon Jones.
He is literally the baddest dude to ever walk the face of the earth at this point in time.
Well, you brought.
The question was, everybody wants to see the Aspinall fight. Come on, tell us about it. He's asking you, talk to us about this Aspinall fight. And then he just went off about Jon Jones being the greatest of all time. That is not promoting it. We know, okay? In the UFC, for some reason, when Dillashaw tests positive for PEDs, he's out of the GOAT conversation, but when Jones does, he's in, okay? We know. The rules are very clear, okay? Jon Jones is allowed to take PEDs. So is Kuniev, who you just signed and gave Curtis Blades, who's tested positive for about 5 different performance-enhancing substances when he fought Henan Fahea, the guy that lost to Francis Ngannou. That's why you're giving him Blades in his debut. So we know roids mean nothing to you, unless the guy is so dumb like Dillashaw to admit that he took them, okay? But the question was about Aspinall, and you're on a massive show here. Talk about that potential matchup.
Brought him up, and Shannon brought up. He speaks glowingly about you these days. I mean, he has. Evidently, your relationship has really improved.
Well, it's not like Jon Jones and I talk every day.
Right.
There's some fighters that I've had great relationships with that,
relationship.
you know, and Jon Jones and I have definitely not had that.
Right.
We've gone through a lot of stuff in the past, but
They were on breaks. You know, one time Jon Jones mentioned something about his in-laws, and all hell broke loose over dinner that night, I tell you.
he's still here, and you cannot deny. You know, haters are going to be haters.
Right. He's the
You
best.
cannot. This guy is 37. Not to mention the fact he wasn't very good to himself outside of the octagon.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And you
You can say that again.
hear stories about these things that he did in the octagon. He didn't even train leading up to these fights.
Right.
And what he said.
He wasn't on the TB12 method,
That's right.
that kind of
He-
guy.
100
So
Yeah,
imagine that.
The opposite.
Raw
That's right.
talent.
Exactly.
He didn't even train for these fights when he was gritting down in round 5 against Gustafsson, you guys. He wasn't even trained. It's almost like he was on something. And Dana White goes on to mention, he says something about, and you know, you got all these gaps in his career where he's been out for a few USADA suspensions is what they're called, Dana. And they're just like brushing over some things. Talk about the Tom Aspinall fight, and we get a little glimpse of something. And this is why I think Dana's promoting this all wrong. And maybe it's my fault for going at Jon Jones so hard. I'm not saying, you know, under the conditions that we allow Jon Jones and Jon Jones alone to use PEDs and get away with it, I'm not saying that he's not the GOAT. Jon Jones is the GOAT. There's no one who can match up to Jon Jones's resume on the sport. There's literally no one. GSP, he doesn't have the same resume as Jon Jones, especially now. Maybe you could make an argument when Jones was at light heavyweight the whole time and GSP had done the middleweight move. Then you could make an argument, but then you'd be like, well, GSP lost, and then, well, he double redeemed it, and, you know, some of the comp was really good, and it's comparable. But now he's beat Cyril Gane, beat Stipe Miocic. It's undeniable now if you're going to let Jones be a PED cheat. I get that. I feel like Dana's defending something no one's saying. You know? My argument was he's being an absolute weirdo about the way that the Aspinall fight should come about. He's clearly more scared of Aspinall as an opponent because he's asking for more money to fight Aspinall, but he weren't for Stipe. He weren't for Cyril Gane. You know what I mean? But he was for Ngannou. That's all I'm saying here. Dude's scared. He knows the threat. He would rather a lesser threat, which is why the Stipe fight ended up happening. But Dana's defending something no one's going at. And then we've got these lot jumping in like, he wasn't even training. It's so funny to me that they can't put it together in their own heads. I know they're never going to say he was a roid cheat on First Take or whatever this show is. It is First Take. Bring back Skip. Skip! Where you at, Skip? Either way. I know they're never going to say it, but it's so weird that they would say that out loud. And it'd be like, oh yeah, he was just gritting down against Gus in round 5 while not training. Joe Rogan does this as well. He was on nothing. Everyone else training, absolute discipline, the most they can do, and some of even them gas out as the fight goes on. But Jon Jones just doesn't even train, you guys, and can grit into the later rounds against someone who's done everything possible to maximize their cardio. Yeah, okay. Just gritting in there against Dominic Reyes. He wasn't even training for that fight. Either way, I want to get into the way he's promoting this a little bit more. It seems to be more about just proving Jones is the GOAT, which we all know he is, because you allow him to cheat. It's all good. But it's not about... You should be hammering home on this show. Tom Aspinall, fastest finishing rate in UFC history. He's got the lowest finishing time ever in UFC history, and he's lowering it every fight against higher and higher competition. He just knocked out Blades in a minute. Anything he lands can put you out cold. Sergey Pavlovich, he took it on short notice and slept him in a minute as well. Before that, he sleeps another top 10 contender. He's got this many wins against the top 10, and all of them within the first round. And look what he did to Volkov. We just saw Volkov arguably beat Gane over the weekend, and Aspinall schooled him. You should be hammering home how big of a threat Aspinall is for this fight. Because that's what's going to sell this fight. Jon Jones is the GOAT. Has been the selling point of a Jon Jones fight every fight of his career. We need something new if this is really going to be the biggest heavyweight fight of all time. Which they actually get into on the Piers Morgan interview where he talks about this being, you know, Dana White says it's going to be the biggest fight of all time and it's going to be huge and massive. It's not going to be if they don't promote it the way it's supposed to be promoted. This is the threat. This is the guy to beat Jon Jones. And these guys, Shannon Sharp was mentioning before on this show, you know, they put Gustafsson in there. He take out Gustafsson, Kyler Green, fried shrimp, and goes for all of this, and Gustafsson in there, and all these other opponents. Everyone's supposed to be the next guy to beat him, and he goes out there and does it. I know I said Garn could. Silly prediction in hindsight. Nobody was out there saying, dude, Smith's the guy. You know? No, this is the guy. This is Tom Aspinall. He's the guy to beat Jon. No one was there like, dude, Anthony Smith, this is the guy to beat Jon Jones. I think I tried to make a narrative that, dude, Smith's kind of dangerous for him. You know what I mean? This is kind of a dangerous matchup. I think I said that about Reyes as well. Like, Reyes is a real problem for Jones. And turns out I was correct. Reyes whooped his ass and beat him. But I hate that they're just using the same recycled Jon Jones promo that we've heard for every other fight of his career. This one should be about the X factor. I think is it the dependent variable or the independent variable? I think Tom Aspinall would be the independent variable here. Or the dependent variable. I can't remember how. It's been a while since I've been in science class, you guys. But we need to talk about the X factor here. That's Tom Aspinall. That's what makes this fight the greatest fight, the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history. Because of the threat. And instead, we get a question about Aspinall asked to Dana White. And we've just spent a minute or two talking about how Jon Jones is the GOAT again. We know! Keep it going.
Aspinall, I remember when he won his last
And we bring him back up.
fight. Obviously, I was there for that one. It was a great one. All right. But I watched him speak about Aspinall. He was like, he's annoying.
And he starts going in about how Aspinall's annoying and mentioning this and that. And then we move on to another moment here, which is at 6:22. I'm going to try and move myself over these highlights as well. Oh, no, this is going to be a disaster. Here we go.
Jon Jones. So he, you know,
How dang. He starts talking about how, you know, people are saying that Jones is ducking Tom. And he's going to defend Jon Jones again. The wrong way to promote it. The wrong way. No one's going to believe Aspinall's a threat. Here we go.
Listen, I'm the guy that hears all the stuff behind the scenes. All the biggest tough guys that y'all love, I hear them turning down fights and, I don't want to do this, you know, behind the scenes. Jon Jones is the exact opposite. Jon Jones.
You were asking about Aspinall! They're showing Aspinall highlights on screen right now, by the way. First of all, hey, yo, dude. Tybura, come on, bro. What's going on down there, brother? Either way, it's just, they're laying him up to and discuss why this is the biggest fight because of the opponent. They're laying him up, and we're just talking about Jon Jones again. He's the worst promoter ever if this is the way he's going about doing this. He's putting all of his promotion into a guy who's not going to be around next year. We're lucky if we get a 2025 out of Jon Jones. We're never getting a 2026. That's something we can all agree on. Unless they do Ngannou super fight. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think the UFC will ever do that. But this is the worst promotion ever. The most basic. You're being laid up to talk about the opponent whose highlights are playing on the screen. Poor Tybura, by the way. And he's again just being like, Jon Jones did it. Jon Jones did it. Jon Jones. It's just like, dude. Lowest finishing rate in UFC history. Destroys every opponent they put in. The only time we've ever seen him lose at any point recently in his career over the past however many years it was against Blades when he went in there injured and his leg ruptured. And other than that, he's absolutely flawless in the UFC against this many top 10 opponents. And Volkov, he destroyed Volkov in a minute. Jones doesn't do that to people. He should be like, yes, you can defend Jon Jones and say Jones is the GOAT. But where was this when it came to the Aldo McGregor promo? You know what I'm saying? Yes, you could say that about Jon Jones. But the selling point is that Aspinall's a huge threat. And you're not getting that across. Stephen A just asked him a question about Aspinall again, and we're just getting defensive Jon Jones.
Will fight anybody. He's not afraid. He has never said behind the scenes, I won't fight Tom Aspinall. It's the exact opposite. Yet to the public, he makes it seem like he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall.
How weird is that? You know, every time he's ever asked about it, he sounds like he doesn't want to fight him. But trust me, you guys, behind the scenes, he really wants it. Which is why he's asking for extortionate money out of you to fight Tom when he wasn't to fight Cyril, when he wasn't to fight Stipe, when he wasn't to fight Pereira, who he wanted to fight instead of Tom. He wasn't asking for extortionate money then. Sell that. You know, and let me tell you this. Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. I don't care what the people think about Tom Aspinall. I'll tell you what Jon Jones thinks about him. He thinks he's a threat, which is why he's asking for more money, you guys. You know, Lego Hans Dana needs to come out here. And let me tell you this about Jon Jones. He needs to go into that. He's asking for crazy money, 40 million, whatever he's asking for the Tom Aspinall fight. Sell that. Tell us. Why is that? I'm doing a fucking better job promoting this shit than you bald fuck. Honestly, though. Why does he want 40, 50 million to fight Tom Aspinall, but he'll take a contract fight against Stipe, against Garn, against Pereira? Why does he want that much money to fight Ngannou? Because they're a threat. Sell the threat. Stop selling the same shit you've been selling us the whole fucking career of Jon Jones. We get it, he's the GOAT. God.
And the thing is, Jon Jones is like 37, 38 years old now. Like one of you said, you know.
Still not one thing about Aspinall.
Has these huge gaps in between fights.
Yeah.
Why is that, Dana? You know, as you said, he's got these huge gaps between fights. Why is that, Dana? Why is Jon Jones got those huge gaps? Those huge 2-year-long gaps in his career all the time. I know he's never going to say it, and I'm not going to get onto him like he's a terrible promoter because he won't say Jones is on roids. That's a terrible promoter. But why does he have those gaps, Dana? That's the thing. Why? Saying all this out loud is crazy. He doesn't even have to train to dig deep in the 5th round against someone who's trained their whole life and put in 10 weeks of hard work. He's got these, you know, weird gaps of 2-year suspensions, basically, in his career where he hasn't... This guy is just crazy, you know? Still not a thing about Aspinall.
He is not afraid to fight Tom Aspinall. He will fight Tom Aspinall, and it will be
I'm
the
certainly
biggest
not
fight in
trying
UFC
to
history.
imply that
It won't be. It won't be the biggest fight in UFC history when you're promoting it like this, you stupid bald fuck. Just gonna be real. You're promoting it like, oh, this is just another defense. He's the GOAT, all right, everyone? It will sell. It will do numbers regardless because of the fan narrative that will go into it. It's not going to be the biggest fight in UFC history, and it might not be the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history, unless you promote this as the threat is here. This whole career of Jon Jones, he's fought smaller opponents that haven't got finish potential, not there. They're not well-rounded. They're not this, not that. Finally, Jon Jones, GOAT that he is, say that all you want, Dana. Your promotion should be, finally, his whole career, someone bigger, faster, stronger, more powerful, and well-rounded. The ultimate test of Jon Jones. This will determine everything. That's the way the promotion should be going. And he's had 2 questions about Aspinall as an opponent, and the entire time he's just been sitting there rimming Jones on TV. Tell us about Tom.
He's afraid.
No, I know you.
Oh, yeah, right.
But the fans do, and some of the media does too,
Right.
because they don't like Jon.
Because Stephen A was like, I'm not saying he's ducking him. He is. That's the narrative. He clearly sees Tom as more of a threat. Is that a wrong thing to go into this fight promoting? That is the whole narrative.
Let me tell you what. I would never be a shill for Jon Jones or any other fighter. Jon Jones we had one goofy incident years ago with Chael.
And he goes into Chael Sonnen and, you know, Jon Jones's coaches told him not to take the fight and, you know. And that's the end of it with a Dana segment here, but he's promoting this all wrong, man. 3 questions from Shannon Sharp and Stephen A, who want to hear about the opponent, like tell the audience about the opponent that's coming up, this Aspinall guy. 2 layups. Jon Jones is and Jon Jones and let me tell you about Jon Jones and Jon Jones, you guys, and then just, dude, somebody get this fat bald fuck out of the fucking position that he's in and put me on fucking First Take with Shannon Sharp and I'll promote the fuck out of this fight. I'll say Jon Jones. You know what? I'll put aside the roid stuff. Give me the job. I'll go on a fucking press tour, and I will fucking drill this fight into the fucking minds of the audience, and this will be the biggest fight in UFC history. The threat is the Tom Aspinall. He's well-rounded. Speak about what he's done. Touches you with anything you go out. Jones has never fought that before. You know, he was supposed to fight Rumble, but it didn't end up happening. And, you know, he's never fought a guy who can just shut the lights out like that out of nowhere, the way Tom has, consistently back-to-back. And let me tell you this about Tom Aspinall. Never been past the opening moment of the second round. Out of all but one of his fights, he's never left the first. Jon Jones has never done that to anybody. Jon Jones may be the GOAT. But one thing you can't say about Jon Jones is he ain't just destroying these guys in one round with brutal knockouts. That's Tom Aspinall. And that's the threat he's got coming up. And that's just off the top of my dome that I'm doing in the middle of a Dana impression. Where is that? Sharp. Laid you up. Dana. Give the fans something that we want to hear. And then Stephen A jumps in. Everybody wants to hear. And they're trying to lay up something about Aspinall. And he's just spent the whole fucking time this fucking... They're gay lovers, dude. I know they are. I know it, dude. I'll fucking do that on the press tour as well. I know that's the truth, dude. What the fuck is this? We get to the Tom Aspinall thing, and I'll get into his side of it. And Aspinall's a nice guy. He did go into the fact that Jones was on PEDs. And we'll move on to another segment. But fucking hell, Dana. You're supposed to be the best promoter in the world. Fucking promote the fighters involved in the fight. Not just rimming Jones to make sure he's nice and happy. Maybe he's glazing Jones so he will stick around and he knows deep down that Jones don't want the fight. Maybe. That's the only explanation I have other than the fact that they could be, you know, in cahoots, you know. You know what I'm saying? Jon Jones is pound for pound, not based on pound for pound. He does some pounding all right. Either way, 9:55. We start in this Piers Morgan interview here. Which is a really weird crossover, by the way, that I didn't see coming. 9:55 in the interview. Here it is. My mouse has gone way faster out of nowhere. Give me a second. There you go. All right.
Honestly, I was expecting him to come and we maybe negotiate a little bit. And he literally walked into the room and said, "It's happening." And I said, "Well, he's going to want loads of money." And he said, "I know, but it's happening." And he said, "It's going to be the biggest fight in UFC history." So
does that mean Jon Jones has agreed?
I don't think so, but I think
Am I in the left corner of the screen? So it's happening. The Jon Jones fight is happening according to Tom Aspinall.
I don't know what in all honesty,
according to Dana White to Tom Aspinall.
Jones is like, nobody knows what he's doing, even the UFC, so I don't know.
He says he wants fuck you money. I imagine Dana will pay him fuck you money, won't he?
I would imagine so. I mean, I can't speak for Dana, but I would imagine so.
Would you get fuck you money?
No.
How much would you get for that fight?
I don't really care about money at this point. I mean, obviously, I've got a family. I want to make as much money as I can. But to me, what's more important is unifying the belts.
This is what should be sold by Dana on First Take. This guy, Tom Aspinall, I mean, Jon Jones, in all honesty, he should have fought him after the Pavlovich win when he had the interim belt. This guy, Tom, you don't have to defend an interim belt. You're supposed to fight the champion after that. He noticed that Jon wanted Stipe instead. And then we made the Stipe fight. We got it done. It was a big fight. I wanted it done as well. And he can say that he wanted it done and all this. This guy, instead of sitting on his belt, he goes out there and he challenges Curtis Blades. A monster in the heavyweight division. He get Lego hands, Dana. Sell it. What Tom's been doing. Short notice. I mean, say what you want about Jon Jones. He's never taken a fight on a few weeks' notice. Never has he stepped up like that. You know, we hear Pereira comes in, saves an event. That's not really the Jon Jones way, you know? Sell that. Aspinall stepped in. Short notice. He wants this. This is the fight he wants. He knows he can win. We don't know that about the other opponents of Jones. They're just next up. Number 4 in the division. Jones has already beaten 1, 2, and 3 at light heavyweight. Who's up? Oh, Anthony Smith off a win over 50-year-old Shogun Rua. And a fucking dilapidated, not really wanting it anymore, Alexander Gustafsson. They're just the next guy up. It's routine. Tom Aspinall's gone out of his way to get this position. That's something to be sold. Defended against Blades. Didn't need to. Shouldn't have had to. He had every right to sit on his ass. Probably wouldn't have worked out for him. But sell. Fake. Sell. You know?
See,
either way, we move on. 11:03 starts talking a bit of... And I'm telling you, dude, we're not far off Bully Aspinall here.
Jon often likes to talk about legacy and his history and all this stuff.
Before.
It's not about Jon. It's about the belt. And I want to be the unified champion. So for me, it's not so much about money.
In a match-up with you and him, what skills does he have which you think currently he's better than you at? And conversely, what do you think you have where you're better than him?
Well, Jon, let me first start by saying Jon is absolutely elite, and I completely agree with the notion that he's one of the best fighters ever.
Is he the greatest?
Potentially, but
He is the greatest, if you're including, but then Tom goes on to explain, what an arsehole, you guys.
the way that I look at it is he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. If you're on steroids or whatever, I don't think he was on steroids, but he was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. If you're on PEDs and your opponent isn't, that's absolutely cheating in my book. Unless you.
Damn right, Tom. Hey, Tom, keep this energy, I'm telling you. That would make the fight weak. I know Gustafsson wore a t-shirt at the weigh-ins. I almost said a t-shirt at the weigh-ins with the PEDs with an X over it. Dude, Tom, bring it up at the press conference. We need that back and forth. That sells this fight so much. That's a major factor in, like, what can be said in rebuttal to Jones. Because if you want to go in there and have, like, an argument with Jones about legacy, what you've done, what you've achieved, who you are compared to him, which will be a lot of Jon Jones's fight weeks, we just get the same old, same old. You know, I just think I got something a little different than the other guys. That's what we've heard over and over again. Reyes, I just believe in myself in a different level. And he did, and he ended up whipping Jones and beating him. But we've heard all that, and it gives the opponent of Jones nothing to say unless they go in on the, well, you took PEDs, mate, up there on stage. It makes you a cheat, mate. So I don't really care how many fucking wins you have, mate. If you beat him on PEDs, then it don't fucking count as far as I'm concerned, mate. I'm a natural athlete, and I'm going to naturally beat the fuck out of you this weekend, mate. And he can go in on that whole tangent, and that would be the selling point. That's promo. That echoes through Twitter. You know what I mean? That riles up the wrong crowds. You know what I'm saying? And the right crowds will rally behind it. That's what gets it done. But a lot of these guys go into fight week with Jones, and they don't bring this up. You know? Same thing Strickland went there on Adesanya with the gyno and the dog. And I'm not saying like Aspinall needs to go all in on like the wife stuff and the other activities. And you're gay, mate. I'm fucking sick and tired of it, mate. I'll fucking grab you by the fucking scruff of your neck and shove you back in a fucking closet, mate. And all of this. Like, he doesn't need to go into all of that. But I need at least the roid stuff this time on a press conference. And I want to see Jones respond. You're silly. He'll probably say something like that. But either way, that's a selling point. And I hope he keeps this energy moving forward into the fight week.
You're both allowed to do it.
You've never taken anything like
Absolutely not.
that? You never would?
When I retire, I will, yeah. Absolutely, to keep my
TRT, yo.
body healthy, and you know your body stops producing testosterone after a while. To be a healthy older gentleman, I'll probably do some kind of testosterone.
Travel solo. They're on to me, boys. You may be seeing this while I'm in a different country, by the way. Just saying.
Suggesting I should be pumping
I think
steroids.
So. No, I don't think you should be on steroids, but I think I don't know. I don't know a lot about the subject, to be honest. But
They never do, these fighters. No clue. I tell you. No, I get it, though.
I think when you fight in MMA, you absolutely shouldn't be using PEDs. No.
So should he even be allowed to fight you?
Yeah, if he's not using them now, yeah. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Absolutely.
He is, Tom. Don't fall for it. But no, I like it. Keep it professional. He wants the fight to happen. He's not going to sit there and be like, he doesn't deserve to fight me. He was on roids once. That's silly. He wants the fight, so I get this.
Absolutely.
How do you think he'll feel when he sees you calling him a cheat on Uncensored?
I don't know. That's his
Do you
prerogative.
care?
No, I'm not bothered. Jon Jones seems to get his feelings hurt a little bit, a lot.
Think he's
Easily.
a little snowflake?
I don't think he's a snowflake, no.
You can say that again. No joking, no. But Tom, Piers Morgan's trying to like funnel things into... Pause. No Jones, guys. He's trying to funnel things into Tom's mouth, guys. No Jones. But he's trying to put words in Tom's mouth. Do you think he's a snowflake? He goes on to another thing here, and I think Tom realizes, like, you're trying to get a headline out of me here, which is this grin. Like, no, I don't think he's that. Don't do that, Piers.
But
Is he ducking you?
See?
no, he's trying to get more money. I don't.
Yeah. I don't think he's ducking him. He's trying to get more money. He just wants to be compensated in a way where if I'm taking the biggest risk of my career against Tom, I need crazy money because I'm shit scared. This is a danger, you know? So yeah, he's not ducking, and maybe we will see the fight, and maybe us calling him a duck enough has tickled his ego enough to where he's now going to be like, oh, MMA Guru and all these fans harassing him about being a duck is getting to him. I'll show them. I'll fight him. You know what I mean? So maybe we've done our Lord's work here. But yeah, that's a selling point. I wish that's what Dana would go into. You got to understand, like, regardless of what the fans think, this is what Dana should have been saying, regardless of the fans, regardless of what I say as a promoter, regardless of what each of the fighter, what Tom Aspinall says, regardless of anything like that, the media, whatever. Jon Jones knows he's a threat because he's never asked for this other than against Ngannou. He's not going to bring up Ngannou because of the PFL beef. I get it. But Jon Jones knows he's a threat. Contract fight for Pereira, contract fight for Stipe, contract fight for Gane. Aspinall's name gets brought up, a legitimate next in line, the most deserving of the Jones fight that we have right now in the sport. All of a sudden, he needs fuck you money. That should tell you how he feels about this opponent. That's the selling point, and Dana didn't do none of that. He just glazed him non-stop. Either way.
I don't think he is ducking me. He's trying to get more money.
Do you think he's scared of you or not?
No, but I think he...
I would be. When I watched you demolish old Sergey, I was like, there is not enough money in Dana White's bank, whichever one he's with. There's not enough money in that bank to get me in a ring with you, even for 30 seconds.
Well, you're Piers Morgan, aren't you, buddy? Even though he did hit the punching machine pretty hard. You know, I'm used to, Starmer. I don't know if you've seen our current Prime Minister of the UK hitting a heavy bag, but explains the situation right now a little. It's all good, though.
You know what?
Piers hit the bag pretty hard, the boxing machine pretty hard.
I actually agree with a lot of what Jon says. When you put the resumes next to each other, his resume is far superior to mine. The risk reward for the both of us. His risk is he has everything.
So on the skill differentials,
careful with that salute. I'm joking.
Where would you say he?
Because John's gonna look for anything to run with, Tom. I'm just saying.
For the both of us, his risk is.
Jon Jones is going to look for any ammunition he can get, Tom, so you be careful where you put in those hands, buddy, okay? In the build-up to this one. Especially when you're collabing with a guru. Okay, bud? So, Jon Jones is going to be, he brought up some random made-up thing about how Stipe insulted his relationship with his kids. There's no way, there's no depth Jon Jones won't sink to try and get one over on his opponent in the build-up to a fight. You know what I mean? So you watch yourself with him. You know what I'm saying? You watch yourself, Tom. Okay?
He has everything.
So on the skill
he held that shit. Either way, move on.
Differentials, where would you say he has the edge and where do you have the edge?
Well, he's amazing at everything.
Are you better than him at
what a fucking asshole this guy is, dude. I swear to God.
any one discipline?
No, but I'm way younger and way more athletic and way bigger.
Yeah.
And I possess a power that he's never seen before or even come close to. But like I said,
he was asked there, and we're nearly coming to the end. He was asked there, is there any part of the game where you're better than Jon? Your boxing's way better, Tom. Your footwork's way better, man. Come on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Jon ain't boxing like that. He ain't got that level of boxing. Sure, he might chuck his chin a little better than you. He's not as efficient with his boxing as you. No way, no how. We never seen Jones like, damn, dude, what a nasty punch combination right there. He's landed some shots, but boxing has forever been his weak spot. Forever been his weak spot. The guy's been outboxed by people with like fucking 10-inch reach disadvantage against him. Reyes had like an 8-inch reach disadvantage. He was catching Jones with rear bolo uppercuts at one point. Like, the boxing has never been his priority, but I get it. And I like this from Tom. He's not a bad guy. He's a great guy. He's going to say nice things. He's going to give Jones the credit he deserves. Because he's not an asshole, Jon. Okay? Even though you like to view all men as that. Whatever gets you going, Jon, it's up to you, man. I know you just look at men and see assholes, but not the rest of us don't, Jon Jones. You know? But either way, Tom's being praised. But come on, Tom. I'm going to fucking outbox you, mate. I'll stuff the fucking takedowns. You ain't fought a well-rounded guy in your fucking career, mate. Not one bigger than you, faster than you. Got the power I've got to put you out in one shot, mate. Go into that. Definitely your boxing's levels above. That's a part that I need to correct there.
I completely agree with everything that he says in terms of resume, but it's not about Jon's resume. It's about who's the best in the world. right now, and I think it's me.
Same here, Tom.
Would make you the greatest of all time.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Well, if you beat the GOAT,
no, it wouldn't.
Aren't you the new GOAT?
No, it'd make me the best heavyweight right now. That's all I want.
Yeah, I don't know. Piers was fishing for a headline there at the end with the, is he scared of you? Is he ducking you? That would make you the GOAT, right? He was definitely trying to get some kind of big headline there. But Tom handled it well. Good interview. Watch the rest of it if you want. Dana, you stupid bald fuck, start promoting this the way it's supposed to be promoted. This is the threat. This is the danger. It ain't going to be the biggest fight of all time. It ain't going to be the biggest heavyweight fight of all time. It might not be the biggest fight of 2025 if you keep this shit up. We've heard this. This has been the promo. Jon Jones is the greatest. We know. We've heard this promo for every Jon Jones fight. This needs to be different. Otherwise, you cannot expect different results. The fan service and the fans' demand and probably MMA YouTube's work, not to toot just my own horn, there's other people doing this as well on here. They're going to go out of their way and I'm going to promote the hell out of this fight. So it will be bigger. It will be bigger. The fans themselves know the narrative because they're not dumb. Real hardcore fans are going to be showing up in droves for this fight. So it will sell more, but you want it to sell night and day more than other Jon Jones fights? Pfft. Ain't going to happen with you yapping bullshit like this up on stage. You get an opportunity on First Take again, you sell the fuck out of Aspinall as a threat, and you tell him why. Don't be going up there just telling everyone how great he is again. We've heard it all before. Fat Baldy. Either way, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching Toodle Pip. I'll see you later. I tried to space out the content for you guys. I'm not in the country. I'm going to enjoy 4 weeks off. I've been doing this for 6 years. And then come back rejuvenated, ready to fucking promo the hell out of this fight. And I'm telling you, Dana, you want to bring me on board. I know I trash talk. Listen, bring me to the UFC PI. I'll get put in a headlock by someone. Forrest Griffin jumps me at the PI or something, puts me in a rear naked. Oh, jiu-jitsu's gay, is it? All of this, I get it. I'll take my whoopings. You know what I mean? I need to be on this press tour, okay? I won't go into the other stuff, but I'll be... I hate to relate it to this, but you know when Brendan Schaub was like McGregor's guy in the Mayweather build-up? I hate to make that comparison, but someone's got to be tooting Tom's horn. And I know Jones wishes it would be him, but that's a different type of thing. No Jones, okay? But, you know, I'm going to get on board with this. I'm going to promote the hell out of it. It will be the biggest fight, I think. But if you want it to break records... ain't gonna happen, you yapping bullshit like this. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.